My next guest is the best-selling author, certified raw plant-based food educator, and life coach. She promotes individual empowerment and uplifts marginalized communities. Please welcome Sandy Rogers. Miss Sandy Rogers, thank you so much for joining me today on In Contact. How are you?
I'm doing great, and thank you for inviting me.
I'm so excited that you're here. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
I'll be happy to. So my name is Sandy Rogers. Like you said, I'm an ordained minister. I'm an author, radio personality. I just convened a worldwide webinar on health and wellness, and I do a lot to help people out to live a better quality of life. And so it, encompasses a lot of different aspects.
So I understand that you're a life coach, and I know that people are trying to make changes in their lives. What are some challenges that you have observed in your professional experience?
People not believing in their own power, that they have the power to make the change, and also that just making that commitment to the change that they want to see happen in their lives. They think that there's an outside force that's more powerful than they are in helping them, where in actuality, it's all about you have the power within yourself to make whatever changes you wish to make in your life.
That's fantastic. Now, I know that, finding a balance between work, family, and just life in general can be challenging. Are there some tips, some life hacks that you could share with our audience that you're an expert in?
Sure. Let's keep it simple. It's
Yes.
the first thing, right? We have a tendency to overcompensate, complicate issues, and want to make it seem like it's really so big and so out of reach for us, where it's not, if we just decide that we want to divvy up the day into those areas that you just mentioned and make sure that we give each one of them the best that we have, then it's pretty simple to do. We spend a lot of times on some unnecessary distractions, so to speak.
Like what? Could you elaborate?
Like social media.
Uh-oh.
Right? Yeah, right. And not taking the time, to be with our families and to commune together. And that's a big part of what's going on, where we're seeing to really experience the stress, is that we're not calming down and just sitting down and communing with each other. So,
what are some other ways that we can focus on wellness and really kind of reducing the stress levels in our day-to-day life?
I believe that a big part of the relaxation is in preparing your own foods, eating from what I call God's groceries, or eating from the earth, and putting the love in the food as you're preparing it. And that's a way that the family can come together, whatever the family is, like you and a child, or you and your significant other, or if it's just you, that that would help that situation, and to really it's a de-stressor.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely. Right. I have practiced yoga and meditation.
Yes.
Is that something that you've experienced, or can you share any insight on some more ways that we can really kind of focus and de-stress and meditate? I know that you're an advocate for wellness, so I'd love to hear your thoughts.
I love being quiet. I love to practice honoring silence. So that means no electronics. So no cell phones, no laptops, no iPads, none of that, but just honoring the stillness in the moment. And in that moment, you can do the meditation, or the sit in your yoga stance, or practice Qigong or Tai Chi. But it's that stillness that really connects you. And I know individuals that they run as they meditate, or they may swim and meditate. So it's not so much where you have to sit rigid, or yum, making a sound, but just the fact of communing to your higher power.
I think that's really important, and you sharing that insight about meditation can be doing activities as well, but really kind of centering yourself. And that's just something to really bring awareness to. Now, I know that you are an advocate. How did you become involved in such advocacy for wellness? Did it start, from something many years ago, or is this something that just kind of evolved over time?
That's a great question. Actually, about 45 years or so ago, my mom wanted her children to know the importance of herbs and learn the different herbs as opposed to prescription medications. Because even back then, she understood that there was something that wasn't quite right with the medical prescriptions that were given so freely. And this was like at the onset of prescription meds, you know, before they really got to where they are today. And then several years later, my sister was diagnosed with asthma and was given a steroid. And she became hooked on that, like a street junkie on some crack or heroin, you know, and it's so difficult for her to come off. And so during that process was when I really committed myself to learning as much as I can and to share that information with others so that people had options, they had alternatives versus taking the medicines and experiencing all the side effects, you know, like getting back to nature, putting your hands in dirt, hugging on trees, eating from the dirt, you know, eating from God's food, and finding ways like that to improve your health and to meditate, you know, and all of that. So.
Well, tell me, now I know that you have your own live radio show.
Yes, ma'am.
And you have hosted a webinar with Life, Love, and Wellness. Can you share a little bit about your radio show? I'd love to hear more.
Sure. So the radio show is called Life, Love, and Wellness. And what we do is we discuss topics that are usually reserved for the corner to be whispered. And so those issues that affect our community but are not normally talked about is what we talk about on the show. And it could be anything from urine therapy to homosexuals. It could be straight men living with HIV, transgender. It could be just a number. The blind blogger has been one of my guests in the past. Just a wide variety of people. And so the webinar grew out of that because people were asking, you know, we want more, we want more. And so we had an historic event that lasted 10 days from June the 21st through the 30th. And we had over 60 presentations during that time frame from spiritual leaders to the babies. And from the youngest was 14 and our oldest presenter is 88.
Wow.
And just everything that involves the human community life is discussed in that, from family childhood lies to molestation to overcoming addictions, just, you know, everything that you could think of. And so it's an incredible webinar that we put together.
Well, how can we stay in contact with you, Ms. Rogers? Is there a website, an email address that we can actually gain more insight about your advocacy as a wellness expert?
Yes, thank you. So lifelovewellness.org is the website, and the email, you can reach me at sandy@lifeloveandwellness.org.
Ms. Rogers, you have been a fantastic guest. Thank you for joining me today on In Contact.
Thank you so much for having me.
My name is Alicia Hall, and I'm an environmental analyst for Georgia Power, and I work in the dosimetry lab. I got involved with our employee research group called TWIG, which is Technical Women in Georgia. So basically, all of the women in our organization that are in the technical roles, we go out to the community and recruit young women. Cool Girls got started in 2013. It's a program to expose students to science, technology, engineering, and math. We taught them about renewables, about nuclear, and about coal. I wish that when I was younger, I had guidance and I had someone to tell me that I could do it.
When I get out of high school and go to college, I would like to learn about engineering.
Once I see that a young lady does have an interest in the science field or engineering field, I always tell them that they can be successful if they work hard, and no matter what anyone tells them, they belong in that field.